Welcome to Haran's Return to Work vlog series. Join Shelly Hodges-Konis, Haran's Director of Compliance, each week for a 5-part series addressing best practices for employer return to work strategies. Shelly will tackle topics such as the best way to engage your workforce in a remote environment, tips for developing a return to work plan, and how to promote mental wellness while supporting employee productivity. We look forward to sharing lessons learned from our own return to work experiences and addressing frequently asked questions we hear from our clients.
Hi, welcome to Haran's Return to Work vlog series. This is the 4th installment in our Return to Work vlog, and today we thought it would be helpful to share important considerations for planning and adapting in the dynamic pandemic environment. Today I have Lauren Wolf, an attorney at Graydon Law, here with me. And Lauren is part of Graydon's Return to Work Committee, just like I'm part of Haran's Return to Work Committee. And something that Lauren said early on in our conversations that really resonated with me and Haran's approach for return to work was maintaining an unchecklist approach. Lauren, can you share what it means to maintain an unchecklist approach in your return to work planning?
Sure. So we not only are a business at Graydon that is return to work, but we also have done a lot of advising for clients. And one thing, it's kind of all the rage to have checklists for return to work or checklists for operating in a COVID-19 environment. And something I kept thinking about is that every business is unique and has special nuances, whether it's the industry you're operating in, your physical layout of space, which has become so important, your business structure, your culture, all of that is really important. So to sort of just bring it down to one neat checklist really doesn't work. It's more about a process of monitoring and a process of operating in this new environment. I know something you and I have talked a lot about through this process is the monitoring. How are you keeping up on laws? Sometimes every day, we've seen in Ohio and Kentucky, it feels like there's been a new mask order every day for 2 weeks. So really kind of shifting your thinking from we're shut down, how do we re-enter? But it's really how do we continue to operate in this environment? Because we know we're going to be operating in this environment for quite a long time. So it's about thinking about your process, not just checking boxes on a list.
Yeah, in addition to the process, I think it's important too, we've talked a lot about this, internally within your organization, maintaining a team approach. I know within Haran, we have a risk committee, and our risk committee includes stakeholders from compliance, IT, human resources, marketing, and finance, just to make sure that we're pulling in all of the different organizational perspectives, but not just the organizational perspective, the organizational impact in each of those key areas. And I think that does a couple of things. It keeps a focus on your business operations, but it also maintains the focus on the impact of your workforce and helps you communicate in a way that drives engagement. I know if you've talked to me about return to work planning, and Lauren, I know we've talked a lot, the big thing that really is important in return to work planning is employee communication and transparency about the process and giving your workforce a comfort to know that you've actually given it thought or consideration in sharing that. And I think that brings us to another key aspect of return to work planning, Lauren, that I know you're passionate about, I'm pretty passionate about it too, is developing an exposure response plan. So what's your approach on exposure response?
So, and that really goes to this idea of process. And that's not only good internally for business, it's good externally for your clients and people you're serving in your business. It's thinking through what will happen if we have a suspected case or a confirmed case of COVID-19. And really putting that down on paper. The CDC has guidance. We're starting to see more best practices. And we've actually sort of helped clients write plans. Because it thinks about, again, there's no one size fit all. You can't Google exposure response plan and get something that's going to work for your organization, because it really has to be detailed thinking about how are we going to respond in a way that minimizes disruption in business, and most importantly, of course, keeping your people safe and your clients and customers safe. And that really instills a lot of confidence. That's something we've really learned, is that, employers are having to deal with nervous employees. And so when you can make them feel safe in their work environment and know that you have a plan for if someone is exposed in your organization, what you're going to do and how you are going to communicate it. I think that is a really key component in an exposure response plan is communication and how you're going to monitor that and keep business going and keep people safe. And, something else you and I have talked a lot about is your team. You talked about the internal team, and at Graydon, we have an internal team that monitors and meets regularly to assess. But it's really thinking about your external team too. Who are those advisors? Who's your bench of advisors that are guiding you through this? There's so many changes in laws, and this is impacting every area of law. Graydon, our business team is being impacted. Our real estate team, everything is being impacted. So you really need your team. Who's on your team internally and externally?
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I think
Thanks for having me.
I hope that we imparted to all of our business partners and our friends that you are not in this alone, that we are here with you, that you should, in your return to work planning, to maintain flexibility in this dynamic environment, maintain an unchecklist approach, have a method to monitor change, have a team both internally and externally that you can count on and rely on, and that you have a clear exposure response plan to make your employees and your business associates feel safe. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.